Good morning, everybody. It is day 2 of the Manifestation Challenge, and I am so excited to be here with you all. So today's video is going to be all about joy, and I really love this day, right? Like when we're talking about joy and we're talking about being happy and we're talking about focusing on the things that really light us up. This is probably my favorite day. So I'm so excited to have you here. Hey Sid, how's it going? Good morning. And so I'm kind of curious, especially while we're waiting for people to jump on, if you have anything that you'd like to share about the challenge so far. How is it going for you? Have you realized anything? Any ahas that you'd like to share from creating your vision? Anything like that. Please feel free to share it in the comments. Let us know how it's been going for you. And we're going to wait just a couple more minutes for some more people to pop on. So I love this topic of joy, and the first time I really explored this, I was actually in a program that was all about my relationship with my body and my relationship with food. And I actually did this little exercise where I drew, like, I wish I had it with me, I would show you. But I drew like all of these circles. It was almost like a brainstorm, right? So like in the middle, it was like happiness and joy. And then I had lines coming out and I had little bubbles with all of the things that I enjoy, like gardening and family and running and fitness and eating smoothie bowls and, you know, kind of all of these things that I really love to do. And it was kind of all surrounding that circle. And I made it pretty, and I think what I recognized in that exercise was that there were so many things that light me up. And actually, what lights you up is what brings you closer to everything you want, right? Like, I feel like we've been talking a lot about intuition and things like that in the group. And I feel like joy is Spirit's way of telling you that you are moving in the right direction, that you are doing work for your purpose. So hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to day 2. We are talking about joy today, and we haven't really gotten into it much. I was just asking for everybody to post something about this challenge so far. How's it going for you? How did writing your vision go? Have you had a chance to do it? Any ahas, anything like that? As we're waiting for people to pop in, let's share in the comments how everything is going so far. So Sid said, I loved writing my vision yesterday. Oh my God, Sid, it was so cute too. I read it last night and I literally got tears in my eyes. It was so good. She also enjoyed creating her vision board. Woo woo! It was Pinterest, right? Did you use Pinterest? I feel like a lot of you ladies used Pinterest. I'm going to have to learn how to do that. It felt really good to get it all down on paper and read it out loud. I'm looking forward to reading it every day. Woo woo! I love that. Love that so much. So yeah, I was just kind of talking about the first time I explored joy and I explored enjoyment. I made like a little diagram of like all of the things that I really like doing. And so like in the middle, it said, I think it might have even just had my name in the middle. And I had little bubbles off to the side talking about all the things I loved, like gardening and my cats and my family and my friends and smoothie bowls and fitness and running and kind of all of these things that really brought me joy. And it was in that exercise that I realized that there's so much that bring us joy. And I was kind of talking about how our intuition, I feel like the experience of joy in our bodies is intuition's way of telling us that we are moving in the right direction, that we are focusing on the right things, right? That we are even like moving in the direction of our purpose. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Angelica said it was really fun to do hers. Aisha says, hey, good morning everybody. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Feel free to continue to leave comments about what resonated for you, or any ahas or insights, or how writing your vision was. I always find that it's like so fun. It's so empowering. It's so, I feel like at a certain point we're taught to stop imagining. We're taught to stop using that kind of creative imagination. And so I find it really fun to really tap into that. Paige says, I have to play catch up this afternoon. Too many appointments these 2 days. No worries. All the replays are available. So, yeah, absolutely. Yesterday was a really juicy video, and it had a lot of really good tips and things in it for writing a very powerful vision. Okay. So I wanted to start out today with talking about, what are you manifesting? So if you look around at your life, you're going to see what you're currently manifesting. So for me, I manifested leaving my home in Arizona. I manifested selling my home. I manifested leaving a bad relationship. And so you can look around and you could say, this is what I've manifested. So right now I'm staying in this home and I've manifested this experience. And so also to kind of ask, Aisha said it was great. That's awesome. Also ask, like, how are you feeling? So are you manifesting the things that you want? Are things moving and shifting in your life? And how are you feeling on a regular basis? So for me, I'm feeling really free. I'm feeling a ton of freedom. I'm feeling a ton of happiness. I'm feeling peace, a lot of peace that I hadn't been able to feel when I was in my previous situation. And so, looking around, it makes sense that feeling all of these good feelings has led to me being able to really make the shifts that I need to make for my well-being. Paige says, clutter. I need practice. We get so busy being busy, and we try to fill every moment up, at least for me. I try to fill every moment up, and I have so much going on, and I'm doing A, B, C, and D, and it's really nice to just make a little bit of extra space and a little bit of extra time, but that can be really difficult. Number one, you might have commitments and things like that, but you got this. Find help if you need help. Aisha said, I know we're supposed to be patient, but it's the patient thing that's blocking my manifestation. Yeah, we want it so fast, right? We're in this world of like instant gratification. We get everything that we want like that. I'm in Wyoming right now, and it literally takes me a week to get Amazon Prime packages. I'm like, what? I'm used to like same day or next day in Phoenix, Arizona. It's so tough for me. And it's okay, I know, yeah. So, yeah, I totally get that. It's hard to be patient for the things that we want. Angelica went out yesterday to get a notebook and colorful pens. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Post a picture of it in the group. Okay, awesome. So, how are you guys feeling? What are you manifesting? You can really take a look at, like, if you're in this, like, fear-based thinking. So for me, in that previous relationship, I was 100% a lot of the times like, okay, what's going to happen? What's he going to do next? Like, how's my life going to be if I stay in this relationship? And like, I deserve better than this. And like, all of these thoughts were the thoughts that were always on my mind. It was so heavy. I wasn't able to take care of myself. I wasn't able to call in anything. And so it was actually when my ex went to rehab, he went into inpatient rehab, when I got some space to really start working on myself without kind of the influence of his daily interactions and things like that. And that's when I was able to start manifesting. So one of the things is like, we're going to talk about feeling good no matter what your circumstances are, but sometimes that's just not possible. I want to say feeling good is a choice. So it is possible, but it's extremely difficult if you're in very bad situations. If you're in situations where you feel victimized, when you feel scrunched, when you feel like pushed down, it's really hard to find the joy, even in those little things that you can feel grateful for and you can feel joyful for. There's just so much weighing you down that it's really hard to do that. And so, sometimes it's all about making the choice to change your circumstances, making the choice to get out of that situation. Maybe it's a job that you feel really crunched down in. Maybe you feel like you're not being heard and you feel like you're not getting credit for your work, or somebody else is taking credit for your work, or you're not getting the promotion you deserve. Like, how can you start to make changes in your life that reflect how you want to feel if you're in circumstances that really feel hard? Because I know I just got out of that, and it's really tough to manifest from that place. Okay, so another reason, one of the reasons why we really focus on the fear, so kind of those worry thoughts, what's going to happen in the future? Am I going to get fired? Am I going to lose my job? Am I going to get laid off? Like maybe even in relationships, maybe we do have a good partner and we're afraid that we're going to lose that good partner, or we're afraid that we're not going to get what we want. And so we kind of live in this fear-based thinking. And one of the reasons why we do that is to protect ourselves. It's this catch-22, right? Because we're like, if I predict the future and I try to concern myself with all of the bad things that could happen, I can maybe prevent them. But I think most of those things that we're worrying about are outside of our control. So no amount of worry can ever prevent them. And so all we're really doing to ourselves when we're in that fear state is creating heaviness and badness for ourselves when it's, unnecessary and unwarranted. And so, really thinking about, like, where am I fearing? Where am I feeling like I need to control everything? Where am I feeling like I'm constantly pushing to make sure everything happens the way that I want it to? And let's see. Oh, I thought somebody made another comment. No more comments? Okay. So this will be kind of more interactive. So where in your life do you feel most negative? So for example, a month ago, I would have felt like, or a couple months ago, I would have felt like it was my relationship, like I was constantly thinking about it. I was constantly feeling negative about it. I was constantly feeling like it was really tough. I feel like right now, the most negative thing is, kind of not feeling like I fit in my environment. Here in Wyoming, it's been a little bit hard. I feel like it's like oil and water. Like I'm not, the way I think and the way I talk and act, it's very different than the people who live here. So I think that that's one of the negative things that are affecting me. So feel free to put it in the chat, but answer that question for yourself. Where in your life are you feeling the most negative? And what are you believing when you're feeling that negativity? So for me, it's like, I'm not like these people, but I know that we are all one, right? We are all connected. We are all the same. They have different beliefs than I do, but it's for the same reasons, right? So like, I have these beliefs for one reason. They have different beliefs, but it's for the same reason. And so it's really interesting because when I'm talking about this subject specifically, I read in Buddhist Boot Camp, he says, no matter what you believe, the opposite is also true. So, like, really thinking about, I'm believing that I'm so different. I'm believing that we believe so different and that I'm an outsider and that I'm so much different. And this is a belief that's from my childhood. I'm in my childhood home. I always felt out of place, maybe not with my beliefs, but just like out of place in this world in Wyoming. And so when you take a look at that belief, can you shift that belief, right? So like, can I shift that belief to be, instead of I'm an outsider, like, I can find things in common with anybody. Is that a belief that I can move to in order to reduce that negativity that I'm feeling in those moments when I'm like in public or around a bunch of people or something like that? So where in your life do you feel most negative? What are you believing? And how can you shift that belief? What can you believe instead? Now I'm going to read off some of your guys' answers. We've got work, we've got business, we've got not good enough, new, unfamiliar spaces. Yeah, Ashley was appreciating the they believe different, but it's coming from the same place. Yeah, absolutely. At home. Long distance relationship. That's pretty tough. Absolutely. Yeah, looking for housing. No matter how many hours I worked, didn't get much in return. Lack of appreciation at work. It's big. Feeling like you're in a different spot than your partner. I felt like that for years with my ex. 100%. I felt like I kept growing and growing, and that just wasn't happening on the other end, and that's really tough. I think I can shift it by thinking of the end result of everything instead of thinking how it's starting. Yeah. So really, like, what do you want to believe instead? If it's a belief that's causing you negativity, if it's a belief that's causing negative thoughts, what can you shift it to instead? And we have to know that we can't change other people. So, like, when your partner isn't in the same place as you, or your work is not appreciating you, like, there's nothing that we can do about other people and other people's behavior. So is there a place that we can come to joy alongside? So one of the questions I always asked myself in my old relationship is, can I be happy next to somebody who's so depressed, who's so unhappy? And I tried really hard, and I could have happy moments, but it felt like such a struggle. And so at what point do we have to take care of ourselves and make the shifts that we need to make to get into a better place? No matter how respectful I am with exes, co-parenting is tough. Absolutely. Okay, so I wrote down, so I found this affirmation in Super Attractor by Gabrielle Bernstein, and I thought that this is a really great way to kind of shift our beliefs. So if you guys want to write this down, this is a writer downer. Shifting negative thoughts to more neutral thoughts. Yeah, absolutely. That can be a really great place to start, because it can be really hard to go from a really negative thought to like a positive thought. So like, here's an example. I hate my body to I love my body. It just doesn't feel right. We're going to talk about that a little bit more too in this session. But to like shift it to a more neutral, like I accept my body, can feel a lot better than I love my body when you're making that transition. You said the same thing. I hadn't even read that part of your comment yet, and I like thought of the example of the body, so that's hilarious. Yeah, I have a body. Yep, exactly. Yeah, very, very good tactic for, trying to come up with these shifting of beliefs. Yeah. Aisha, it's so hard for me to be like, I remember my mom was like that too. She complained a lot, and she was very negative, and I used to have a lot of trouble. I stopped inviting her to breakfast with me and my daughter on Saturday mornings because it just didn't seem as fun with her around. And so, yeah, finding those boundaries, and if it's somebody that you really care about and you really love, you can still find time for them, but making boundaries around the time that you do spend with them. I love that. Okay, so how can we shift into joy? Oh, wait. I was going to tell you guys the affirmation that I found on the Super Attractor book. Okay, so this is great. It's this is a writer-downer. Quote, I recognize I'm out of alignment with blank. I recognize I am out of alignment with blank. I choose to release the outcome and feel good now. And so when you feel like you're in those negative thoughts, you can come back to this affirmation and you can repeat it. So I recognize I'm out of alignment with my connection to other people. I choose to release the outcome and feel good now. Or I could even put, I choose to find ways in which we connect now. When I'm feeling like I'm not like these people. Or I'm an outsider, right? The second part is, I choose to release the outcome and feel good now. Another really great mantra when it comes to manifesting, because we're taught that things are hard, right? That things don't come easy. Money doesn't grow on trees. We have to work hard for what we want. So a really great belief that we can really use to shift things with manifesting is good things come easy. Good things come easy. Okay, so Angel, I'm going to say it again one more time. I recognize I am out of alignment with blank. I choose to release the outcome and feel good now. Let me know if anybody needs me to repeat that again. Okay, so we've kind of talked about some of the things that take us away from joy. We've kind of talked about like some beliefs that can maybe be causing those negative feelings, and how to shift those beliefs. I think that this is really important. It can be used for triggers too. If you find yourself getting triggered by something, looking at, okay, what's the thoughts that's causing these triggers? What would I like to believe instead? This has worked really well with my fertility clients who are struggling with jealousy triggers, things like that, when they see babies and other moms and other pregnant women and things like that. And it can be really powerful practice. One thing that I've recognized is feelings come from thoughts. Thoughts create feelings. And so when you're feeling a feeling, just get in tune with what thought is causing it. There's always something down there below it. Okay, so how to shift into joy. Let's talk about feeling joy, right? So one technique that I love to use is kind of to borrow the feeling. So we should all be able to put in the comments one time when you felt extreme happiness and joy. Maybe it was the birth of a child, or maybe it was a graduation or a birthday party or a wedding, or when you met your significant other, or, something like that. So put in the comments below, what is an instance that brought you joy in the past? So we can borrow that feeling of joy. We can tap into how we felt at that time to really help us get in tune with joy. Yep, Angel says the birth of my daughter. Perfect. Exactly. So what we do is, if we're starting to feel negative and we shift our belief, right? We're like, okay, what belief is causing this negative feeling? I'm going to come up with an affirmation. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that too. But I'm going to shift my belief. I'm going to shift how I'm thinking. And then I'm going to tap into this previous thing. I'm going to tap into this feeling of joy that I had in this other circumstance or other situation. And in addition to that, we can also tap into the experiences of other people. So maybe, here's just an example. Maybe you want to be a millionaire. You are manifesting being a millionaire, $1 million. You've never experienced $1 million, right? You're like, I don't know what it would feel like to be a millionaire. who is your favorite millionaire? Who is somebody who inspires you that has $1 million or more, right? So then we can actually start to borrow on the experiences of other people. So it's like, I'm going to talk about peace, right? Like, I love having this like feeling of peace. And if I were to think of like any influencer who has brought me peace, it's Wayne Dyer. He wrote the book Do the Tao, and that book has brought me so much peace. I listen to it on audio. It's read by him in his voice, and if I feel like I'm like, I want to feel peace, I can be like, okay, how would Wayne Dyer feel? How would he act? What would he think? What would he say? You know, so we can really borrow on this experience of others as well, especially when it comes to things that we haven't experienced before, or depths of things that maybe we want to experience and haven't experienced before. Aisha says, when I was given a Cabbage Patch doll, oh my gosh, I forgot about those. It's been a long time since I had one. I remember I used to have one when I was a kid, and it was so cool. I used to have this like little worm, like a green worm thing that you squeezed at night and his face would light up. I love that. I love that. Glowworm? I don't know. I'm dating myself. Okay, so borrowing on the feelings from the past, feelings from other people, borrow that joy, borrow that feeling of success that you're looking for, that feeling of whatever it is that you're manifesting. Okay, affirming how you want to feel. So this affirmation that I gave you, I recognize I'm out of alignment and I choose to release the outcome. That's good for recognizing verbally to the universe that I'm out of alignment. Like when we tell ourselves that, it's easier to get into alignment, right? Like when we're admitting, oh, I'm out of alignment right now. I'm just noticing I'm out of alignment. So now we can move over. But these types of affirmations are more like the type of affirmations that have you feeling the way that you want to feel, kind of like Ashley was talking about in terms of, you know, finding an affirmation even that's in the middle. So I hate my body can go to, maybe doesn't feel right for I love my body, but it could, like, I have a body or I accept my body. And so I actually wrote an affirmation for myself. So those of you who watched yesterday's video would know that I am manifesting healthy relationships. And so the affirmation I came up with was, I attract healthy people who add peace and joy to my life. It's really similar to my vision statement, right? And so I attract healthy people who add peace and joy into my life. And you've really got to take this affirmation, or affirmations if you come up with multiple, and you have to ask yourself, do I believe this affirmation? How does it feel in my body? So try it out. Say it a few times. See how it feels. If like on a scale of 1 to 10, if it's not above a 7, it is not powerful enough. It needs to be powerful. It needs to invoke feelings. And it can't feel non-believable. So if you're not believing it, one of the techniques you can do was like Ashley was talking about, like finding something in the middle. Instead of I love my body, I accept my body, or I have a body. And one of the things that I think can be really powerful too is I'm willing to. So I'm willing to start accepting my body. That can feel a lot more real than I accept my body if you don't accept your body. You know, I'm willing to start accepting my body. I'm willing to attract people in my life who will add peace and joy. I'm willing to accept abundance in my life. I'm willing to accept money, more money than I've ever dreamed of, something like this. I'm willing to let go of fear. Try to state it in the positive though. I'm willing to concentrate on joy and love. Okay, so next, another way that we can shift into joy is to meditate on positive feelings. So I definitely recommend, while you're trying to manifest, it's such a good practice, and you don't have to meditate a lot, 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day. meditate on those positive feelings. You can repeat your affirmation over and over. You can actually just sit down by yourself, maybe with some music in the background, maybe without. If you feel your mind wandering, repeat your affirmation over and over, or you can do guided meditations, which I absolutely adore. So I use Insight Timer, and I love guided meditations. I just type in a subject and I go with it. So if I was, right now I'm working on relationships, healthy relationships, I could probably put that into Insight Timer and listen to a guided meditation about it. And so this can be a really powerful way to shift your subconscious and to really start shifting those beliefs. I think that that has been my key to success in terms of all of the transformation and changes I've made, has been meditation and taking time to just sit in that stillness with myself. Don't let outside circumstances dictate how you feel. And I say this, and I recognize that for me, I'd say that that was nearly impossible being in an abusive relationship. So maybe it's only the extreme circumstances that are almost impossible to do that. And so if you do have an extreme circumstance, how can you, at the very least, create boundaries where you get that time and that space? Kind of like I was describing when my ex was in rehab, like I had time, I had space, and I had like days, months. He was in there for 60 days straight, where I had very little contact with him. And so that was amazing. But like, even if you could take an hour a day, and create those boundaries where those circumstances are no longer affecting you, you can do your meditation, you can do your own mental work or things like that. How can you create enough boundaries to get into a different frame of mind for even a little bit of time per day if you're in one of those tough situations? And if you're not, if you are mostly in good situations, then don't let those outside circumstances, don't let that flat tire ruin your day, right? Don't let that call ruin your day. Don't let somebody else's bad attitude ruin your day. Let them deal with their own BS and you go about your life without it, right? Okay, so make feeling good a priority. It's really important to prioritize, like maybe even schedule in that time for that meditation, that 5-10 minutes, and make feeling good a priority. When we're manifesting, the more we can feel good, the better. The more that we're aligned with this goal, right? So manifesting is all about being the person who has that outcome. So it's very much an internal thing, and we're going to talk a lot about this in I think it's day 4, surrender, day 5, where we're going to talk about like who we're being inside. And so when we're shifting into joy and love, when we get our manifestation, we're going to feel joy and love, right? So when we feel those feelings now, we're putting ourselves in that same vibration and actually making ourselves a vibrational match for what we're receiving. This is all about alignment with love, alignment with the universe, right? So schedule in time for this until it becomes a habit, until it becomes something that you just do automatically. And give yourself permission to feel good, right? How many times are we like, everything is so good in my life. What's going to happen next? And you're just like bracing yourself for impact. You're just bracing yourself for something's about to happen because everything's so good. We get afraid of feeling good. And so give yourself permission for that. Give yourself permission to like let go and feel good. And, notice sabotage. Notice when sabotage starts to creep in. You know, if you feel like, oh, everything feels good, I think I'm going to start a fight with someone. That's usually not conscious, but it happens, right? Like we're like, okay, I'm going to pick at something. Things can't be that good. Let's find something that's not good. And then we create maybe some drama or something like that in our lives. So, watch for the negative thought that's creating this. Like, watch for, the fear. Forgive yourself and choose again. So the choose again method is something that Gabby talks about in her book, Super Attractor. And this is all about like, when you have a negative thought, a lot of times, people who are in the manifestation process, they start to beat themselves up over it. Oh, I'm feeling negative. I'm not going to manifest my dreams. It's not about that. It's just about letting it go. It's about like, oh, I see you. I see you, thought. I love you. I forgive you. I'm letting you go. Choose again. I'm going to choose a different thought. I'm going to choose a different reality. I'm going to choose a different belief, and I'm just going to keep moving forward. And so don't get stuck in that, right? Find joy in the things that you already have. You don't need to go out and get anything. You don't need to go out and buy anything. It's all about like looking around you and finding joy in the things that you already have. For me, it's my cats, it's my garden, it's my family, it's my friends, it's doing these videos for you guys. I just love it. It's my work, it's the people that I'm working with. All of that all of those things are things that bring me joy. So look around your life and really take stock of the things that bring you joy and make time for those. Any other ideas, any ways that you guys tune into or create your own joy? I would love to hear them. Post them in the comments below. And then today's assignment, oh, I went over. I'm at 11:35. I can't believe that. Like I thought today would be like much shorter than yesterday. I wasn't even paying attention to the time, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, so post in the comments below some of the things that bring you joy, and in the Facebook group, I'm going to post today's prompt. Feel free to post one thing that brings you joy in the Facebook group. Feel free to post pictures and stuff like that too, guys. If you haven't introduced yourself, feel free to come on in a video and introduce yourself, or even just post a post in the group with a little introduction about who you are and what you're manifesting and what you're excited about. I'd love to see them all pop up in the group. Thank you guys for being here with me. I'm so sorry for going over. I was not even looking. Yeah, post any ideas that you have or anything that you do to increase your joy in the comments below. And I will see you guys tomorrow. In terms of the guidebook, there's a spot for notes for today. But the questions are quite simple. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Find joy today.